Today, we're going to continue some R&D on the Copper Golem and try to push the boundaries of storage even farther. And just before anybody else coins this phrase, we're calling this Copperstone. You may have already seen my previous video on the first ever Zero Redstone auto sorting system, and while that's cool, it's pretty slow. Yes, I've read all the comments. Yes, I've seen the many people say, but what about redstone? What about hoppers? Why bother with the Copper Golem at all? Because it's fun, and I enjoy fun. I hope you enjoy fun too. Let's have some fun. In my previous video, I set up a row of chests just like this to test Copper Golem mechanics while walking across the top, and I was trying to split them down the middle to have one go here and one go here, and it didn't end up working because as they walk on top of these chests, they're just slightly lower than this trapdoor, and they were being allowed to slip through back and forth, and they were colliding with each other, causing all sorts of issues. I really need them to stay isolated, so the thought dawned on me, what if I put carpet here? Golems can still reach through the carpet to open these chests, and I think this would make them tall enough that they would no longer slip underneath the barrier. And I'm happy to say, proof of concept is now confirmed to work as well. Now, check it out. I'm going to toss in some lapis. They're both going to go for it. So now instead of 16 items at a time, I have 32 items traveling down this row of chests, and I think we can make it even better. I considered putting a second row of chests underneath here, but in my testing, these golems were actually interacting with both the top and the bottom chest, even though they were elevated slightly higher on the carpet. So that is a no-go, but I have an even better idea. Not only is this double speed from my previous build, I'm gonna make it triple speed from my previous build, and it's a lot cleaner. This is so much easier to build. We'll just consider this the prototype. It's still very cool, and it serves an incredible purpose of having zero redstone, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to break that standard today, because I'm going to combine the new golem mechanics with a little bit of redstone magic. I'm gonna put one downward-facing hopper underneath every single one of these chests as a divider, with these chests not as storage, but item categorizers. So I'm going to show you how to build a very simple hopper comparator lock, and if you've been around redstone for any length of time, you've seen this probably a million times. But I'm going to start with an L shape right here with one block right up against that chest and one block right up against this hopper with a comparator right here that's going to read through this block to read the contents of the chest behind it. Then I'm going to place one block here, one temporary block here with one block underneath it, break that block with redstone dust, one block here with a repeater facing this direction, and then one block right here with a redstone torch on the side. And this redstone torch is going to power this piece of wool, which is going to lock this hopper and not allow any items out of this chest until the signal strength is strong enough to power this redstone torch off. I'm going to do this 8 more times so that I have 8 different filters. As for the filter items themselves, this is very important to pay attention to. The first thing you might immediately notice is 3 empty slots at the very front of the chest. I've got all the plank varieties, including stairs and slabs, and I have all of these lapis blocks renamed Thanks for Watching because, hey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you. And the numbers on these are incredibly important to pay attention to. The reason I've left 3 slots empty at the very beginning of the chest is because this is where the golems are going to put the items when they drop them off. So if a golem comes by and is carrying an oak plank, it's going to put it here, not here. It always goes in the first available slot. So if I were to put this first one here and fill in the rest, there is a scenario where this could potentially break. So empty slots at the very start of the chest, and then filter items at the very end, and you need 3 full stacks of filter items, and then you need 4 blocks in the very last slot, plus the number of blocks you've left empty at the start of the chest, which in this case would equal 7. Non-stackable items are a totally different scenario. I've got a couple right here in this chest, 1 diamond helmet, 1 iron helmet, and 1 netherite helmet, and the circuitry on the back is exactly the same. Adding 1 additional non-stackable item to this chest will trigger this to release that item, giving it a signal strength of 2. For example, if I take 1 netherite helmet and put it here, as if the Copper Golem put it in, you can see it disappears and it's in the hopper below. The unfortunate part about this that you're going to have to pay attention to is any difference in the non-stackable item at all will cause the golem to completely skip it altogether. So if the helmet has any damage on it, or it's enchanted at all, it's going to skip over that chest and carry it on either to a transfer chest or an overflow chest or another chest with an exact matching item. I hope they change this going forward. It's not ideal. There are 3 empty slots for 3 different golems, but right now I only have 2 golems, and I certainly can't put a third up here. Otherwise, we're going to be dealing with some collision issues, and that's going to cause a lot of problems. But I have this open space directly underneath the chest that's not being used, and I think this would be the perfect place to put a third golem. Just a quick note as well, I did try putting a golem in a 1 block tall space, and he ended up getting stuck. So 2 blocks of space plus a slab on top will give the perfect amount of space to move around, reach the chests, and do everything he needs to do. And it's as simple as that. There's more tinkering to do. There's always more tinkering to do. And I'm going to start by taking this first chest and testing out the speed at which these 3 golems transfer 1 stack of items to the first chest from the time that I put this in the chest, starting now, assuming the golems are paying attention. Oh, that's so fast. And that's it. 32 seconds. 32 seconds for a full stack of items to get from here to here. Let's compare this with regular hopper speed by setting up a little test station right here. This would be the same distance traveled between the copper chest and that chest right there, and then the distance traveled to the hopper below once the items have been released. Let's see how fast hopper speed takes all of these items to this final destination, and 64 items have transferred in 26 seconds. In an ideal world, all 3 of these golems would have been paying attention the second that I put these items in the chest and started transferring right away, so we could probably shave off a little bit of time, and it's pretty comparable. But we're not just going to be going from here to here, we're going to be going from here to here sometimes, and checking every single chest along the way. So if this right here is not comparable speed, or just barely comparable speed, it's still definitely going to be slower than your traditional hopper setup, but I want to get a couple of times just to check and confirm. Let's try some chicken. I gotta say, I love seeing full quarter stacks just disappear from a chest like that. It's absolutely incredible. Go, little golems, go! And 64 items has taken 52 seconds to get from start to finish. That's honestly not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Still not great, but let's set up another station right here and compare the same distance traveled with hoppers. And 64 pieces of chicken traveling through hopper lines at the same distance took about 28 seconds. Significantly faster. And while that may be true, this, in my opinion, is significantly more fun. But I get it. If you're a tech player and you're the most efficiency-minded person trying to build the fastest contraptions, this isn't going to be for you. And that's okay. What I love about Minecraft is that they've given us options. Options are good. It allows more people to enjoy the game in more different ways. Speaking of options, I want to give you a couple of examples of what you can do with this categorizer. Think of this as the brain for a much larger storage system. This chest right here is where you would input all of your items, or what you could do is run a hopper into it and link up multiple chests to it. In the event that you've got a bulk transfer, maybe you have several shulker boxes that you're looking to just dump into a storage system, you can dump it all in here and watch it trickle down, and the golems will start transferring everything for you to the categorizers. Each of these chests allows you to store up to 47 different items and pass them on to the eventual storage system. So in just this small space, this is 470 different items of potential. Unless you're using a transfer chest like this here at the end, then you've got 423. Either way, that's a lot of items to filter through. So after they're filtered, where are we going to send those items? Well, here's the first example. I built this in my previous video on the Copper Golem storage system mechanics, and this is the first ever, to my knowledge, 0 redstone Copper Golem storage system. So let's say, for example, I've got planks, I've got logs, and I've got saplings. I could easily hook up a hopper line to all 3 of these filters, and I'm not going to make this look pretty. It's going to be a little bit ugly because this is a testing world, and we just need the proof of concept. So now all 3 of those categories, if I were to put every plank, every log, and every sapling in these filters, they're going to go over here to the 0 redstone sorting system. And if I don't really care about having everything in rows or specific places in this storage unit, I can just let the golems decide on an empty chest and let them put things wherever they want. So this golem has decided that this is going to be the planks chest, and now every single time an oak plank comes into this system, it's going to go right here. Let's take a look at this chest, for example. I have 2 different food items, pretty common, chicken and beef. Neither of them are cooked. I could easily come down here and put a hopper line directly into a small smoker, and then I could set up a fuel filter with coal and run a hopper line down to this smoker as well. So then if I were to put raw chicken and some fuel into this sorting system, the golems are going to find the food chest first, and then they'll dump the food items in here, which will then preload the smoker with the raw chicken. And once they get to filtering the coal, that's coming next. That coal will get filtered down into this smoker as well, and all of our chicken will start getting cooked. I can easily just put an output chest right here and grab the food when it's done, or I can send it to a completely separate storage unit, similar to this, where more golems will filter out the different food items. The possibilities with this are completely endless. Here's a couple more. I've got a chest full of dirt and podzol and mycelium and some other dirt varieties. Let's say, for example, we want to go over here and use a traditional redstone storage system. 3 of these columns have filters, so dirt, podzol, mycelium. Maybe I'm doing a big project and I know I'm going to need a lot of those, and I want to store all of them in individual places. And the rest of this stuff I don't care about. I just want to have it on hand just in case I need it. It can all go in here completely unfiltered. So just like before, I'm going to put a few of each inside of the input chest. And already, these 3 golems have 3 different items that are going into the filter to be sent over to this wing of the storage system. Here they come through the hopper line, and I've got dirt, I've got podzol, I've got mycelium, I've got dirt paths, and coarse dirt. As I said before, this short row of 10 chests has the potential to sort up to 470 different items if you use all 10 chests, but if you don't want to use this last chest as an item filter, you can use it as a catch-all for anything that you might have missed in your categorizers, and you can send it down into bulk overflow, where none of this will get sorted. It's all just random storage for your random items that you don't necessarily need every day, and all of that has taken place from this one spot, the brain. And the way that I would use this is maybe putting it in a centralized location in your base. So you've got the immersion of the copper golems taking the items out of the chests and filtering them out. But then once it gets past this point, if you are stuck on the idea of efficiency and speed, you can move it on over to a traditional storage system for things that are a little bit more bulk transfer, or you can move it over to the 0 redstone option with more copper golems if you want more immersion in a different part of your base. With this categorizer system as the brain of your base, it doesn't have to just handle storage. It can handle smelters. It can handle crafters. Anything that you can think of, this can do it. You're going to want to keep your eyes on the channel because I've got some fun ideas of what we can do with copper golems beyond just simple storage. Not that this has been simple, but you get the idea. If you did enjoy this video today, make sure to tap the like button, leave me a comment, and subscribe if you're new. And hey, stick around. We'll see you in the next one.